Hello. Sorry for the delays. I had some technical difficulties with my Zoom integration, so we're going to do this live as Facebook Live. Let's see, are we going? It says we're 7 seconds in. Okay. Apologies if this gets cut off or is otherwise strange. I'm new here. Yeah, it is August 19th, 2020, which is very much after the end of July. So it seems like as good a time as any to recap our listener mailbag for July of 2020. As we do every month here at Candid Wholesale Community, we get a lot of feedback from our community members and from our application users and just from being in the industry generally and having a team that lives and breathes and talks wholesale with a number of brands and retailers throughout the ecosystem. So without violating anyone's privacy, we try to give a little overcap of what we're seeing and what we're thinking month by month until we stop doing this. So the big story, of course, as always, is COVID-19. This is the 5th month domestically of living under its not aegis, whatever the opposite is of a aegis, its gross boot. It's still not great for anyone, but most people have kind of figured out a new normal. There's a sense with a lot of people that I talk to that we're in the second act, and that the third act out of who knows how many acts is probably going to start in September, just because back to school is driving a lot of things generally, and then within the wholesale industry, of course, that's buying season, that's trade show season, which we'll get to in a minute. Yeah, the schools are still the big X factor, but they're far enough in the future, or at least they were in July, that people were starting to plan for it, but not really feeling anything changed significantly since June. As far as business statistics and attitudes generally, it has cut a swath across society for sure. We've been very happy to see a super majority of our users staying open, but with major modifications to their business, such as staggering shifts, online ordering, curbside pickup, that sort of thing. Pretty much unchanged since June. For the most part, people have again sort of equilibrated to a new way of doing business, which a lot of times means if your sales volume is down, you're compensating by potentially having a smaller staff, and suddenly, as the supply curve and the demand curve both go down together, you still get a little bit of equilibrium. The PPP money that was designed to get everybody through June has officially run out. So that wasn't a surprise, but it was still had a bit of an effect on people's general outlooks and attitudes. And then as far as what people are thinking about and what is concerning them and sort of where things are headed in terms of people's attentions, again, pretty much unchanged since June. The biggest thing that everybody wants to find is new partners. If you're a brand, you've got stores that have gone out of business that you need to replace in your portfolio of buyers. If you're a store, you probably have some empty spaces on your shelves from brands that have gone out of business, and you need to fill those as well. So everyone's still trying to figure out how to make that work. Online discovery remains the biggest one by far. With trade shows coming up, a lot of people are looking a lot more seriously at trade show replacements, and a number of the big players like Fair and Shop Objects and New Order and Jure are doing their own virtual online events. It's interesting to see that there's a couple different directions that's coming from. On the one hand, you've got these existing wholesale platforms that are putting on trade shows because they have the infrastructure for it, and on the other hand, you have these live events that are trying to figure out how to go virtual because they have the audience for it, and it's sometimes they tend to be partnering, sometimes they tend to be doing their own things. In July, we started to see some real promotion of that and some teasers that I think, just because we at Candid are working on our own series, it's called the Open on Candid series. I have a sense that a lot of people are starting by sort of building, they're building the design comps, and they're using that in the marketing material while the development team is furiously building it in the background. So that has started, I think that the suppliers of these things, the trade show organizers and the platform organizers, have been thinking about this for a while. It's starting to really materialize in buyer and seller minds in July, that they're not going to New York now. They're not going to Shop Object. They are still going to need to figure out how to do business in time to get products on the shelves for the holiday season. So that is the big ramp up that we saw across the board in July. And of course, online marketing. That's another thing that I think everybody is really, a lot of people have imposter syndrome about. A lot of people feel like everyone else is doing great and they're not. The truth is you're probably not. The truth is it's very hard. And unless you have just an unlimited money hose to throw at it, and even then sometimes that's not a guarantee, it's going to feel a little hit or miss. You know, the idea is to find what works through rigorous A/B testing and then scale it. And it's just, you know, nobody's perfect. Everyone's struggling. I think when it works, and it's still something that I think everybody who can afford to should be doing. Because if you spend $1 and make $1.10, it was worth doing. But we're seeing a lot of interest in that in the community and the people that we're talking to. So as for what we can do and next steps, I think to make August feel better than July did, we have a lot of resources that we're putting out in the group right now. We have, we work a lot with Inspired Focus Design, a digital marketing and strategy agency here in the Pacific Northwest that I think I'm going to try to get Jamie and some of her teammates to come on and do some more talks about what you can be doing right now in terms of online marketing. We are doing our trade show event, the Open on Candid trade show events, which you're going to be hearing a lot more about. Our first event is coming up on September 1st. It's called Portland Supply. It's put on with Prosper Portland and Mercatus and Portland Made. It's I think we have roughly 100 brands signed up, and we're still, people are still coming in. So that's going to be really exciting. We're excited about it, obviously. I think even if you're not in Portland, it's open to anyone in the world to buy. So it's definitely worth checking out. And I think I'm personally going to be checking out all the virtual trade shows that I possibly can, just to see what everybody's doing, because it's whatever happens, it is kind of the way of the future. We've talked about this before, but even pre-COVID, people were looking for trade show alternatives. This is not a new conversation. It just is newly universal and urgent in the sense that, you can't do the other thing. So everybody has to figure this out one way or another. So yeah, and then about the online marketing, we have some content on there that I will put in the link that's attached to this post so that people can check it out. But yeah, other than that, good luck out there. Thanks everybody who's been talking with us. We're here constantly. If anyone needs anything, again, we certainly don't know everything, but we are just at a unique nexus between brands, retailers, and all sorts of organizations that really give us, we think, a pretty comprehensive top-down perspective on just what's going on, the state of the union, and we have some ideas about where we think things are headed, and we're happy to discuss with anyone who wants to. So thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with another Shop Talk, and we do these mailbag roundups every month. If you want to drop us a line, please do so. We're here, and thanks a lot. Let me figure out how to get out of here now, because I don't see the button. There it is. Bye.